between the Mid-Suburban League's Prospect Knights.
Welcome everybody to week number 10, yes I said it, week number 10 of Prospect Football Weekly presented by Buffalo Wild Wings in Mount Prospect. Week number 10 means that there's a playoff game, and of course head coach Dan DeBuff has made the journey to join me. Thank you for joining us for a week 10 episode.
We get another week together, how exciting.
I know, I am so excited. Elk Grove put Joey Gaskill at quarterback instead of their usual starter Charlie Jancek. Were you expecting that this week during practice?
No, not really. You know, the other quarterback played the majority of the season, so we weren't really expecting that. But, we were ready to make that kind of adjustment on the fly and see what we could do.
Yeah, because of that, how did you change that game plan during the football game? How did that work on the fly?
I think Coach Collins did a good job adjusting. It looked like they wanted to use the new quarterback to run a little bit more than the previous quarterback, who was more of a thrower. So we kind of made a few adjustments on the fly and went from there.
Absolutely. Elk Grove had a really good first half. What did you talk about during the break to help get that momentum going in your favor?
Yeah, we knew that they were a pretty good team. They're a lot better than their record indicated. If you look now, their 8 losses all came from playoff teams.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a really tough schedule, unfortunately, for them. So we knew it was going to be a battle all the way through, so we prepared our guys for the week to be a close, hard-fought game all the way to the end.
Yeah, there was a lot of important plays on both sides of the ball for both teams in that game. What do you think the most important play of the game was to get you to the playoffs?
I wouldn't say the most important play. I would say the most important drive. I think in the second half there, we ran the same play, I think 7 times in a row. At a really fast pace, and you could see that they were getting really, really tired, and I felt like that was kind of the turning point of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you think that has an advantage, because you're not a big fan of people playing two sides of the football? How do you think that helped you?
I think it was really important. I think really if you look at us being able to get to 5 wins, at least 3 of those games I felt like happened due to our opponents being tired in the second half. If you look at our point differential in the third and fourth quarters as well, especially the fourth quarter, you'll see a pretty big difference there, and I think it has a lot to do with that.
Absolutely. How can you improve from a game like this?
I think we just got to take the momentum right into the playoffs. You know, we're coming off 2 pretty good performances, and we want to use that momentum and kind of carry that confidence through till week 10.
It's going to be your 3rd straight must-win game.
Yeah.
What was the reaction from the sideline when that clock hit 000 and you know you have a shot at going to the first round of the playoffs?
It was exciting. I feel like you could really see the energy and the excitement from the kids. And we wanted to be respectful towards Elk Grove, so we let them, exit the field first, and then we had the students come out. It was an awesome experience.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach DeBuff, and stay tuned for an interview with quarterback Jimmy Martin. Welcome back, everybody, to a special Week 10 of Prospect Football Weekly presented by Buffalo Wild Wings in Mount Prospect. I'm here with quarterback Jimmy Martin. Jimmy, thank you for coming back for the first time in 10 weeks.
It's great to be back.
Yeah, absolutely. You threw a touchdown pass to Brian Doherty last week against Elk Grove. Talk about what you saw in that play, as Elk Grove had some pretty good coverage on him.
My read was the corner, and the corner stayed on the whip route, like the little short route to the sideline, and Doherty was open, tossed it up there, and it was great to see him get in the end zone after a rough year last year. I'm sure he tore his ACL. Worked really hard this offseason. It was great to see him get in the end zone, for sure.
Absolutely. He scored the touchdown a couple weeks ago to tie the game against a Wheeling team in a must-win game. Can you describe that feeling in a must-win game to even set you up with a win or make the playoffs scenario against Elk Grove?
That's really cool. Like the way the whole thing went down. Like we marched down the field with 2 minutes left, a couple timeouts. And I got to give credit for Michael and Big Pickens, Luke Zarzan, getting us down there in the red zone. I just finished it off. They did all the work on that drive.
Absolutely. How does your mindset change now that this is a playoff game, or is it just the same as a regular season?
It feels the same. Obviously, we're a little more energetic because this is playoffs. We've earned this week 10, and now our goal obviously was to make the playoffs. It was one of our goals, but now we're riding the rides.
Yes,
right?
you are.
You know what we're gonna do, Wyatt?
What are you gonna do?
We're gonna take the Rams to the water park because Rams can't swim. We're gonna drown them. We're gonna drown them, baby.
You're gonna drown the Rams. All right,
Yep.
that's the first I've heard of that. What is the focus this week on this offensive side of the football?
Keep that night tempo. Keep moving fast. Just take them into deep water, but that's all we got to do.
Alrighty,
That's all you gotta do.
you made a goal at the start of the year to bring prospect football back to where it belongs. Now that team is in the playoffs, are you satisfied enough with that goal being achieved?
Obviously, great we made the playoffs, but we got a lot of unfinished business to take care of. I mean, it's great to be here, but let's win now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. This could be your last game as a prospect football quarterback. What do you want your legacy to be here with this program?
Obviously, I want people to see me as a good football player and that I was a good leader and everything. But probably the most important thing was that I was always good to the younger guys, and I made people feel wanted and everything. I as long as I'm doing my job all the time and not only as a football player but off the field and always doing the right thing all the time and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Jimmy, and stay tuned for a preview of the playoff game against Glenbard East with head coach Dan DeBuff. Welcome back, everybody, to playoff edition of Prospect Football Weekly, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings in Mount Prospect. Coach DeBuff has made the long journey back. Thank you for rejoining me at the table.
Absolutely.
What have you seen so far from Glenbard East on film this week?
They're tough. They're 9-0 for a reason. I think that they got a really good quarterback. He's had some pretty good stats this year and looks like he's got a strong arm and is also a pretty good athlete.
Yeah.
On defense, they got a really good middle linebacker, and their overall team speed looks really good.
Yeah, Glenbard East is having arguably their best season in school history, and they're doing it on both sides of the football. How important will it be to keep that offense contained with that quarterback?
I think a big part of that is going to be keeping our offense on the field. With our up-tempo offense, when we're getting first downs, it's really good. If we're going 3 and out, that puts our defense on the field a lot. So we want to try to maintain time of possession this week.
Absolutely. And keep their defense from forcing turnovers as well.
Definitely.
Are you still going with that 6 seconds at a time method, or is we switching it up this week?
No, we're still going with that. We're focusing on that, and we want to make sure that we're not just content with our biggest goal this year was to get the program that next step, and that's go to the playoffs. But we don't want to just be content with that. We're definitely here to play to win, and we're not just going to go out there and just try to be there. We're going to go out there and try to win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. This is Prospect's first playoff appearance in 6 years.
Yep.
What atmosphere are you expecting from both teams? Obviously the U, and then obviously being
definitely
at Glenbard East.
Yeah, I think Glenbard East is going to have a great crowd. This is the first time they've made the playoffs since
99.
So I'm assuming that their town and their school will be pretty excited for the experience. And I think we'll travel fairly well. Fun fact for you.
Go ahead.
One of my college roommates who has played defensive back with me at Carthage College was a Glenbard East Ram.
Wow.
So he'll be in attendance with his family this Friday, so that'll be exciting.
I'm sure. Is he cheering for you this week?
I hope so. I guess we'll have to find out.
Absolutely. That'd be interesting. How will the game plan change now that we're in the postseason, or is it going to remain the same thing?
I mean, game plans change week to week with just little wrinkles, but again, we're focusing on ourselves. We're going to put in little things that we think will work, but again, we're going to focus on doing what we do.
How much do you think it helped that the games against Wheeling and Elk Grove were must-win games to even put you here at Glenbard East for a playoff game?
Yeah, I think one interesting fact is Glenbard East really has only played one close game. I feel like we've been able to be in quite a few close games and come out on top. I think if we can try to keep it close and battle with these guys to the end, we're going to have the experience in that close game type atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. This is Glenbard East's first playoff game in 19 years.
Yeah.
This is your first playoff game in 6 years. Do you think that the lack of playoff experience on both sides of the ball will affect anything at all?
That's an interesting question. It'll be interesting to see. We're going to try to attack it just like any other game. In the past, some of my teams have done really well with that, and in the past, some have struggled a little bit. So we're going to try to just do our thing and play loose and have fun out there, not let that atmosphere affect us.
You have your good luck boots on Friday?
You got that right.
Absolutely. And if this is the last time we see you, it has been an honor to talk to you all year.
Yeah, let's hope not, though, right?
Yeah,
let's hope for a Week 11.
Let's hope we're Week 11 right here.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And thank you, Coach DeBuff. And that'll do it for Week 10 at Prospect Football Weekly. We hope to see you next week for a Week 11, which would be here.